Hello, everyone, and welcome to an episode of Coding Crawl. I think this is the third episode in this playlist. We don't get a lot of videos here. But there's a bug that came up a while ago and nobody fixed it, and then just now somebody reported it again, and nobody knows what's causing it, so I thought I would A, track it down, and B, record it. Not sure how exciting it's going to be. Maybe a lot of bumbling around. I'm not super happy with how the window layout works because I'm going to need at least two terminal windows, and I might need the GDB or the Emacs window. So I don't know. I hope this layout looks all right to you guys. I hope it works out okay. If I had to watch this video, I would have a rough time, but that's because I don't see too well. I hope you guys can manage it all right. So here's the bug. We're going to start up first in this upper right window. We're going to launch crawl. That's not yet the bug. And then there's a save file here, RTL, given to us by a player. And when you load it, it crashes. Great. And we get this screen that says it crashed. Fine. And I hit cancel like 90 times. First time doesn't work. I don't know. But cancel 90 times and it lets you out eventually, has been my experience. Quit. The worst. I could quit a little bit more aggressively, but I don't want to because then the file might get corrupted or something. I don't know. Hello, let me out, please. God, this crash screen is awful. All right, well let's just do this real quick. There we go. It's dead. So the other thing, the thing we need to do now is get that process open in a debugger. So here we go. Oops, it's a little bit... I'm actually not sure how to catch a bug while loading in the debugger because there's this issue where if you... So okay, I'm connected in the debugger, and now the thing is stopped, right? So if I push any buttons in the top right window, nothing happens. And when I tell the debugger, okay, it's all right to continue, the top right, the game window gets a signal saying go ahead and continue, but that feels to crawl kind of like the user just pressed escape or something, and so the game quits. How do you even get this to work? Can I say run? Start? Help? How do I make it start a new process with the same... It should be run, right? Why does run not work? Invalid JSON. What? Help run? Process launch. Oh god. Ugh. Launch. Launch is not a valid thing. Okay. Launch. I'm used to using GDB, which is the GNU debugger. And this is LLDB, which is like the Mac port of that thing. And it has a lot of cool options. Process launch. So what happens if I just type... But everything is a little bit foreign. Could not find data file that anywhere. Okay. So that just means we're in the wrong directory, right? So let's just run it elsewhere. Let's cd into here and LLDB crawl. Target create crawl. Don't know what's happening yet. Am I going to be allowed to run it soon? Run? Oh, but it's going to launch in the wrong... It's launching in this window. Well, okay. I'll just hit enter and we'll get to a breakpoint. Maybe that'll be fine. Not enter yet. I need to get to the right save file. God, the problem is you can't hit enter because... Welcome to being a developer, everybody. Nothing ever works. And there's just so many dumb, frustrating little things before you can get to what you actually want to do. You can't hit enter because LLDB like eats the enter keystroke and then sends it back to crawl as like a page down. And so like when I hit enter instead of loading, it does that. Ugh. What if I hit tab? No. What? Hello? Loaded a totally different game. All right. And I can't send it to Control S or anything. Oh my gosh. Can I Shift S? Yes. All right. So that doesn't work at all. We can't launch from inside of LLDB. Is there any state that I can get this crawl process to where it won't mind getting an escape? Probably instructions, right? Yes, I bet that'll work. That's a workaround for you. Maybe, hopefully. It worked! We continued, and now we're back here. Alright, that's a stupid workaround, but where is this character? I have so many weird characters offline that are like... Some of them are games I was actually playing, but most of them are like weirdo wizard mode games I made. Some of them are games I downloaded from players. Anyway, here we are. And now, let me just check that you guys really can see this. Yes, you can see this. Our LLDB window has detected that the process it was debugging has crashed, and it's dropped us into a debugger, which is what we wanted. So, what is the deal here? We're dereferencing a null pointer on purpose. Fine. Because we want to crash the game on purpose because some assert failed. So let's go... Here's the backtrace. So this... it says thread number 1 is at some place. Frame 0 is like the line where it like breaks the game on purpose because we asserted something. So this frame 2, how do you go frame select 2? Okay, so here we are. At line 3873 of tags.cc, we loaded a place info and asserted that it's not global, but it is global. I don't know what a place info is, and I don't know what it means for a place info to be global, so we may have some digging to do. But okay. Can I look at frame variables? There's a lot of them. Okay. Well, that's the place info that we loaded. Global branch info. It's all zeros. That seems bad, right? That seems not good. I mean, it could be right, but I bet it's not. I bet, what is this? Can you tell me what the value of this is? No. So what is, if you were to convert place info dot branch as an int, it would be 127. Interesting. Global branch info. So the first thing here is like basically -1 or something like it. And then the whole rest of the struct is all zeros? That's very strange to me. But I guess that's the point, is we loaded something broken. And then the question is, why is it broken? I'm getting the impression already that this is going to be something that I have no idea how to fix. But let's see if we can figure out a little bit more about what the problem means. How do we do that? Well, first of all, what is TH? What does that even mean? TH is this, a reader. Okay, so it's some kind of stream, and it's 21,000 bytes long, and it's got a bunch of other stuff. Who knows? But that's the general idea. Okay. And also, there's a count, which is 36. What the heck is count being used for? So let's go over to Emacs here and jump to line what? Frame info 3873. 3873. And what is count? Wait, did count? Oh, count P. It's the, I don't know, we unmarshalled something. I guess it's like the number of places that we have been, maybe? Number of different branches or floors we've been to. Maybe it's branches, I'm guessing, but who knows. So we read some sort of int telling us how many different place infos to decode, and then we decode that many place infos, and for each of them we assert that it's not the global place info. So interestingly, up here, we unmarshal a single place info and assert that it is the global place info. And that was correct. That worked. So it seems like the structure of the file is, or this part of the file, is that there's a global place info and then some kind of int and then a bunch of non-global place infos. And the problem was that the first non-global place info was a mess. So let's look at what unmarshaled place info looks like. It loads it constructs a place info object to put stuff into. It reads an int, and if it's -1, then it converts to num branches. I'm not sure why that's a good idea yet, but okay. I assume that -1 is just some special thing. Now, if the minor version is less than tag minor global branch info, which is probably not, but let's go check. Global branch info, oh jeez. So will LDB tell us what is the value of this? No, right? It won't, but what if I were to tell you that it's a tag minor version? Oops, tag minor version of this? No. All right. What else do we know? What is our tag minor version in this save? Can I tell? 174. Oops. Undo? Can I not undo? All right. So what is tag minor version of 174, please? Tag minor spit poison again. Okay. So the minor version is not less than global branch info, but it's pretty nearby, so that's a little bit suspicious, right? So let's keep that in mind. Minor version is 174, which is spit poison again. So it's not less than that thing. But it sounds like something probably went wrong with that conversion somehow. Like, there's a very recent change, it looks like, to change how we store the global branch info. And probably that change was not done totally correctly. So tag minor version is 34. And placeinfo.branch, we set it to be BR. Which is global. What is that? Print place info again. Branch is global branch info up here. And then we unmarshaled a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's all zeros. Right? All this stuff, we're reading a bunch of ints from the file, and they're just all 0. So, I mean, I guess that's, the fact that it's 0 is one thing to be concerned about, and the other question is like how. Well, I don't know why there's a bunch of zeros in the file, but like if you look at files across the universe, by far the most common thing is a zero. Like there's just a lot of things that are zeros all the time. So if you read like a random part of a file, it's not like odds are you'll get zeros, but that wouldn't be a humongous surprise. So my guess is that like we read into a part of the file that is not a place info at all, and it just happened to start with a bunch of zeros. But the weird thing is, how did we get a -1 in here somewhere? Don't know. What's the -1 again? What, a global branch info. So what if we... what is the type of this thing? Branch type? Of -1? Is it global branch info by any chance? No. What? What is the type of a branch? BR. It's just an int. And global branch info is just an enum. Global branch info is 127. 127, huh? Not -127 like we saw earlier, right? We saw a -127 somewhere, I thought. Frame variables again. I thought we saw a -127. Maybe I'm confused. Actually, -127 would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? -128 would be a more normal thing to see. Okay, well, all right, so global branch info appears to be 127. So things I'm thinking about include like, what is it that comes after all your branch? Well, So the first thing I was thinking is what comes after all your branch info? And I don't really know what that is, but something that I don't know that would be interesting to me is it looks like we read a bunch of branches correctly, right? Our count P is 36. There are 36 branch infos in this file, allegedly, or place infos or whatever. And I is 35, which means we are reading the very last one of them. So, So certainly it could be the case that like the int in the file is one too large for some reason. That could explain things. I wonder how many like possible places there could be, right? So like we were looking up here, and what is count P? When we assert the count P, u.get all place info. So what is that anyway? What does get all place info do? It iterates over all branches. And returns them all, right? Okay. Okay. So let's try running this in the debugger, right? And see what we get. Ugh, it wants default args. Player.h get all place info. They both default to false. So let's pass them now. False, false. Call to a function. What? Oh, geez, I have no idea. This is like some weird template crap. Who knows? Gross. Well, all right. U.placeInfo, all places, creates a branch iterator. Which, how does it work? I don't know. Branch.cc, branch iterator. Iterates over, creates an iter type, but who cares what that is really? Oh man, I am never going to figure out what is this all about. How do you do like a next or a plus plus or something? Plus plus of this. So it just increments some iterator. So operator star is the interesting thing. Okay, so it looks at branches. It looks at num branches. All right. Okay. So what is num branches actually? How do we find that out? Let's if GDB won't tell us, that kind of sucks, right? Right, like I would love to say print num branches, but of course it doesn't like that. It doesn't understand stuff in enums apparently. What if I were to print branch type of 0? Is that going to give me what I want? Yes. Okay. I still can't write num branches here, right? No. So I have to like guess branch type of like 30. Branch, that's Bailey. We're real close actually. Of course we are, because we know it's about 35 is the last one, right? 35 is desolation. And that means num branches is 36. Fine. So num branches is 36. I is 35 in our tags.cc code, right? Which means that we're trying to decode desolation of salt, but it's just all zeros. Huh. I guess that makes sense, right? Because this player is like level 11, so they haven't been to Desolation of Salt. So I bet that most of these place infos are for places the player has not even been. So it sort of makes sense that they haven't. Okay, so we're loading all the place infos for all places in the game, even places the player hasn't gone, which I guess is like one way that we can tell that that like say Snake is in this game instead of Spider. We have a place info for Snake and not for Spider. Maybe, I don't know. So we tried to load the 35th thing. Well, the 36th thing, right? The thing at index 35, which is the 36th thing. And there was nothing there. Instead, there was a, like, something weird? I guess what there was a global branch info. So did this stuff change recently? What changed here? Was global branch info always in this list, or was it added recently? It's like one thing is that maybe in some previous, I don't know. Let's not speculate until we see what happened to this file recently. We're waiting for Git to annotate all this stuff so we can see. enum.h has changed a lot of times. So operations on this file, if you haven't done any recently, I guess take a while. So I guess we have like sort of a candidate for like, we don't have approximate, actually, I don't know if I'm thinking of proximate cause correctly. We have sort of a proximate cause, I think, which is that we tried to read more place infos out of the file than there were. But we don't know why we tried to do that. There was a thing telling us, hey, read 36 things, but there weren't 36 things. And we don't really know why that is. But I don't know. We're probably getting to the point where we can blame Pleasing Fungus, since not only is the Desolation of Salt his thing, but also, which is the last branch, the one we were trying to load, but also, I think he was the one who added the global branch info stuff, right? Global branch info. Yeah, look, he did everything here recently. So I don't really know what caused this yet, but I think we can declare the investigation not yet finished, but at least maybe it's finished. Maybe that's the end of all this. Maybe you'll see in episode 2 of this debugging, but I'm going to take a break here to report my findings to Pleasing Fungus, and maybe he'll know what's going on, and we won't need to do any more debugging, and maybe he won't, and then you'll hear some more from me. So, I don't know, this is a brief interlude into the life of a developer and how nothing ever works. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.